The rewriting of history, it seemed, was a widely discussed fact. However, the scales of lies never cease to amaze. Why would anyone lie about dinosaurs? What's the point? And who will dig into this? However, as in any detective story, you just need to pull the thread. Dinosaurs. What do we know about them? Only that they existed. Everything that video games and movies have told us. Various Jurassic Parks, journeys to the center of the earth, ice ages, and a bit of National Geographic. The world was so harsh then that only dinosaurs ruled everywhere. There were absolutely no mammals. They wouldn't have survived a single day in the harsh jungle. Tyrannosaurs are depicted as the most enormous predators of their time in scientific, popular, and game films. A huge and ruthless machine of death. Teeth the size of a grown man's forearm each. Jaws capable of biting a horse in half. And of course, thick-skinned. In general, everything is clear. It's just a horror. And behind this seemingly obvious fact hides a wonderful lie. No, of course, I'm not going to claim that tyrannosaurs ate grass. By themselves, they fed on flesh. But how did they do it? Are you personally a predator? No. But in any case, your body is adapted to digest meat. Among the teeth, in any case, your body is adapted to digest meat. Among the teeth are small fangs, and the eyes are located in the front hemisphere, which provides so-called binocular vision, characteristic of predators and scavengers. Nevertheless, if you were to be placed unarmed in the taiga or jungle, most likely you wouldn't eat anyone, but you would be eaten. That is, you are not a predator, but a hunter. The difference is that nature has equipped predators with everything necessary, not only for tracking their prey, but also for its successful elimination. So let's quickly run through the characteristics of Mesozoic predators to find these traits. First, eyes. The ability to spot a target, focus attention on it, and determine the exact distance for a jump or attack is one of the most important traits. This is served by what is called binocular vision. In this case, the eyes are located in the front hemisphere of the skull. If the predator sees the prey, then when it looks at it with both eyes, a triangle is formed, in which two vertices of the triangle are the predator's eyes, and the third vertex is the prey. The brain performs calculations. He knows the distance between his eyes and their angle of inclination, and thanks to this, he calculates the exact distance to the prey. You can also calculate this using Pythagoras' theorem on a piece of paper, but if you didn't study at school, don't worry, the brain still does it 1,000,000 times faster than you. This is called triangulation. In herbivores, the eyes are located on both sides of the skull, which provides a wide field of view, but does not give an understanding of distance. Yes, it's not necessary. There's a predator, run. Predator, eat grass. So what do we see in tyrannosaurs and in other so-called predators, allosaurs, torvosaurs, and so on? Eyes on both sides of the skull like a horse. Strange, isn't it? Second, legs. They're hind legs. Just because you spotted your prey doesn't mean you'll eat it right away. First, it would be good to get within striking distance. And for that, you still need to stalk your prey. The prey, of course, won't wait obediently. This means that you need to have not only powerful and fast legs, but also the ability to maneuver. That is, to make quick and sharp turns, accelerations and decelerations. Look at how the four-legged predators do it. 2 legs are too few for this. No matter how perfectly balanced your 2-legged system is, if you don't have a second pair of legs, there's a 100% chance you'll be breaking your face against the ground with a sharp turn at high speed or braking. In many cases, only smooth turns at high speed are possible, which is categorically unacceptable for a predator. However, tyrannosaurs show no evidence of functional front paws. Curiously. But scientists have simply resolved this question for themselves. The bodies of the Diplodocus, which were primarily hunted by tyrannosaurs at that time, were so huge that the signal along the neurons from the tail to the head took several seconds. Meanwhile, the predator bit off half of the tail and fled into the forest with its prey. Just imagine how funny that looked. And what if, at that moment, the Brontosaurus accidentally turned and knocked the Tyrannosaurus to the ground? How would it have gotten up? Not to mention that signals through neurons actually travel at the speed of an electrical impulse, which is almost the speed of light. But let's assume that our predator successfully reached the prey and also successfully attacked. Next, any self-respecting predator must kill the opponent as quickly and efficiently as possible. So just biting wherever is not suitable. Ideally, you should bite the neck right away. This tail thing is serious. To accomplish this task, you need to aim precisely and with the final leap, direct your joyfully open mouth right at the neck. Further on, there could be two possible developments of events. The first one is a miss. In such a case, you need to get up very quickly, regroup, and jump again, or successfully latch onto the neck the second time and hold onto it until the prey loses enough blood and dies. The predators use their claws specifically for this purpose. They latch on like keys through both the skin and the flesh, preventing the predator from detaching from its prey. And Tyrannosaurs, what do we see? Among the scary and sharp ones like the bristle and Tyrannosaurs, what do we see? Among the scary and sharp ones like the bristle teeth, there are no claws at all, not a single word. Fourth, hands and below the front paw. Well, let's say our terrible allosaur still managed to catch the prey and now waits for the victim to die. You only need to hold on for a few seconds. But all this time, the prey, which is not small in size by the way, will fiercely resist, jump, roll on the ground, convulse, trying to shake off its killer. Remember I said about the claws that they hook like an anchor? So this still won't help to hold on if the predator can't manage to anchor these claws. And here comes the front paw to help. They reliably fix the position of the bite relative to their own jaws and do not let the prey escape. What do we see in tyrannosaurs? They simply make a mockery of common sense. Their front paws are so undeveloped that they are almost non-existent. If you haven't figured out what I'm getting at by now, let's sum everything up and create a photo robot of a typical Tyrannosaurus prey. So the prey never felt danger, never ran away, never resisted, never tried to escape. What did I just describe? Correct, I described a corpse. In other words, practically all the horrific predators of the Mesozoic era were mere scavengers. They didn't even need to hunt. Just imagine a Brontosaurus weighing 50 to 60 tons. They did die out at some point, didn't they? And if our Tyrannosaurus found the carcass of such a leviathan, it could easily feed on it for several months. Such terrifying teeth are perfectly suited for the role of a surgical saw for gnawing through thick bones. Such tiny paws are perfectly suited for only one purpose: to remove annoying food residues from the mouth. And to scratch the belly. And what dinosaurs also want: love and affection. A careful and educated observer can express and give me an example of crocodiles. Well, that's fair. A crocodile undoubtedly is a predator. And on his example, you can check everything that I said earlier. The eyes are positioned better than those of a Tyrannosaurus, but still not exactly forward. Therefore, the crocodile needs to sneak up on its prey almost completely submerged. He cannot attack from a distance physically. He does have front paws, and it's only thanks to them that he can drag his prey to the bottom. His teeth are also sharp, but without claws, thanks to which they inflict very heavy injuries, but the prey often escapes even after receiving a fatal injury. But despite having 4 paws, he is still unable to pursue his prey. And in the end, he drags his catch to the bottom. And in most cases, he waits a few days until the catch begins to rot, and only then does he start to eat it. So contrary to popular belief, the crocodile is much more of a scavenger than a predator, but still prefers carrion. There's another reason why reptiles don't hunt in the literal sense of the word. They are cold-blooded. A lot of energy is needed for running after prey and attacking. Cold-blooded reptiles harm themselves with this, but for mammals, these components are actually harmful to themselves. But for mammals, these components are actually essential for life. Our metabolism is 20 to 30 times faster than that of reptiles. By the way, I forgot to mention about the skull structure. All predators, crocodiles, wolves, and lions have a solid skull. This is important, as even the most innocent antelope can accidentally turn around and poke with a hoof or horn wherever it hits. You understand yourself, getting hit in the eye with horns is unpleasant. Then instead of a delicious lunch, you can end up playing in the sandbox yourself. That's why head protection is important, but not in the case with tyrannosaurs. Such a skull structure is characteristic for skeleton lightning. It is found in birds, for example. But for a hyena or any triceratops to get its long horn into this hole, it would quickly dig a bridge in the badger. Resilience. Everything in nature is interconnected, and nothing happens just like that. Any living creature is a perfect engineering structure, taking into account all the laws of physics and making the most of its external environment. The body of a living creature is a finely balanced mechanism, especially if the animal moves on two legs. A slight tilt forward or backward causes the body to fall, and by stepping forward, the animal begins to move. And the faster it wants to move, the more initial tilt is needed. To stand still instead, you need to take a balanced position. And to sharply change the direction of movement, a balancing weight is needed. In the case of a person, it's the hands. What about in the case of a Tyrannosaurus? Others, but see for yourself what happens when crocodiles and real predators collide. But see for yourself what happens when crocodiles and real predators collide. And even if reptiles really existed, it's not us, but they should be fully justified in fearing us. It is us, the mammals, who are the most terrifying threat to any reptiles. Well, judging by the fact that we don't see reptiloids around, they are really afraid of us. So what do we get? So there were no predators in the Mesozoic era? There were, and they were all fine with their skulls, eyes, and forelimbs. And their resilience was in order. Here they are. But then why are we scared of tornadoes? Hard to say. Let's look in nature, who has the same characteristics as Tyrannosaurs. Is the skull structure the same as that of birds, chameleons, and frogs' forelimbs? Who has such paws? Believe it or not, ostriches, or in other words, tyrannosaurs, were most likely huge flightless birds like ostriches, with feathers and wings for balance and braking, and they probably fed on insects. And judging by the fact that they were quite slow, I wouldn't be surprised if they had a tongue like a chameleon or a frog. Hard to believe, isn't it? But then tell me, who was it that fed on insects during the Jurassic period? Those that were 1 to 2 meters long? Nobody. More precisely, scientists say that it was done by small milk-drinking rodents. But they do not specify how these rodents managed to deal with ants 5 to 10 times their own size. So why do scientists need to lie? Obviously, saber-toothed tigers are perfectly suited to the role of predators of brontosaurs, diplodocus, and other large dinosaurs. But someone decided to mix everything up, making mammals the predators of insects and insect predators reptiles to settle in the freed natural niche. I can only assume that for a single purpose to deliberately stretch evolution for millions of years, and scatter living animals simultaneously across different epochs. Why, I won't say again. Even to speculate, we need to restore as many pieces of this mosaic as possible. The era of distrust has arrived. To be continued follows. And if you see a flaw in my logic, don't hesitate, clearly, articulately, and without stuttering, leave your angry comment under the video.